What's going on YouTube? Let's get some music. Okay, I think I need to change where the camera starts, just in the meantime. When I load the scene, I mean. Let's do that now. So I'm going to take my camera coordinates, top right. Pull up my camera function. Yeah, I think that's the issue. 0, 32. And 3. Let's see if that starts it about right. Yes, but not the orientation actually. But at least it starts without that brown box. The terrain just chilling. Doing nothing. Okay, that's another thing. I need to visualize the lights. Let's put that in the to-do. Visualize lights as an object also. That's high priority, and it's, I'm going to call it a bug, although it's on the hierarchy here. But obviously you can see the problem. Also, it doesn't seem like a good light, does it? Hope I haven't found, well, I don't mind if I found a bug. Spotlight. It might just be, let me check my shader. Shaders are fine. Okay, I've got rotation in, that worked nicely first time. Is that about 0? Okay, where's that light gone? It might be how I'm creating the light. I have 2 ways to do it. Spotlight. Range intensity. Oh, there we go. It's possible the terrain, as dumb as it sounds, the terrain is not actually live. Let me do that and that. I've got a feeling that might have been it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, just the terrain wasn't loaded. I think that's the plane. So lights do indeed work. I'll bring the other one in here. What's the location? Oh, he's too much on the ground. And the rotation. We can just rotate it with a new gizmo. Okay. Lights work. So I might do that bug now and just implement a visualization for lights. See, when I select it in the scene hierarchy here, it's visualized, but the light itself is hidden, so you can't just click it, which is stupid. I'm pleased that the gizmo is working. The gizmo is a tool that you drag around, by the way, rotate and scale. And I've got scale in there as well. Oh, that's another thing. I've deleted the light, but you see how you can tell there's still 2 lights on the scene. There's this one here and that one there. So when I delete it, it doesn't delete from the GPU yet. But the scale is Hold Shift, I believe. Was it Control? Hold Control. Yeah. But obviously you can't scale a light, but you can scale the gizmo. So I can scale this statue. And then flip her and translate her and move her into the light. Wow, look at that for scale. You would have thought she was bigger. Just shows you how big the world is. Let's apply the terrain rebuild. Let's load a scene. How about that? There you go. There's a scene. That text. I've put the layouts a bit nicer as well. Reanimate things that are paused. So I think now we can do some terrain. So we need to make it so as I've just loaded this file, it hasn't it doesn't fully load the terrain. What I mean by that, if I start editing this bad boy here and then save it, it won't fully load it. It will load the noise, so it will load all the small bits, but anything I do manually with a tool that's not procedural, it doesn't save. So if I want to make like a little level, like the opening credits to the game, this could be like the title menu. You could have the game name here. Obviously it wouldn't look as ass as that. You'd want it saved. But when I save here and then press load, well, I think it will now, but when I restart it won't. And that's what we're going to fix. Press load here. The terrain will be flat, everything else will be put the same. Yeah, flat terrain. So we have a private, yep. Any members, and variables. So this is the height, so everything is stored. So that's what we reload. But then we need the offsets for when I edit things manually. So it's going to be a vector of floats, edit deltas, and then chunk edited. What's this? Okay, we'll check if something's been manually edited. So when it's loaded, when you reload, when you reload the engine and reload your saved world, it would just be a yes or no on if that's been changed or not. If it hasn't been changed, it will just load just the noise from the noise parameters. If it has been changed, we'll add this to that chunk, or to every vertex in that chunk. One moment. Just too hot in the room. Right, to fix that. Is anyone irritable when they're really warm? Because I am. Okay, here. What's the second parameter? Interesting. So instead of copy and pasting, I just want to see what the new function is doing. Okay, this range from GPU is for the mesh. Also, we're making multiple VAOs. So a lot of meshes, basically building the chunks. Int chunk. Oh, okay. Chunk Z and chunk X. So the X and the Y, going down the line, columns and rows of a 2D space, and making a new chunk at every one, and we must be passing it in. Oh, it's called C. See here. Okay, but then we're throwing it away. I don't get it. Let's get it in memory. Let's just have another look. Because if it's on the GPU, then it will live forever. But we don't initialize it there. Let's put the new one in, see if the new one does the same thing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pass this function to my other ChatGPT instance and see how it doesn't. Or can I do it here? Yeah. Briefly, how does the... What was the... Or did it get rid of it this time? Terrain chunk GPU. I want to know how that's working. It lives inside of vector. Oh, wait. I didn't really pay attention. There's a function here. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Chunk at. Oh, okay, there's the full function. Oh, okay, so the function just allocates it. You pass a reference, so it returns the index. But because they pass in the reference, it also, I think it kind of allocates it in a way. The space has already been allocated. I've never seen that. It's very tidy. So we create this and we put it at 0, 0 in net Z and net X. And we go for all of them. So in the initialization, this allocates persistent array because we put the size, and inside the loop returns a reference to an element inside that vector. Ah, okay, yeah. And because we're returning it by a reference, whatever we edit, I really like that. Very clean coding. Return an element from the chunk at vector via the function, then edit it by reference. So you'd normally think we're just creating a reference, or we're creating a new instance here of a terrain chunk, but we're getting the reference basically, a reference to it, so it doesn't go out of scope. I should have. My weakness was I just didn't really pay attention to the function because this caught me off guard. White persists. Terrain is not destroyed. see where we create the VAOs. Here. Create chunk GPU object. Let's see where that function's called. Oh, here, yep. So straight after. We'll do it here. Who's the VAO in? Simple. It's always worth pausing and not. I was talking to a friend earlier, not just copy and paste everything. Yeah. There's too much cheating going on. Okay, so we pass a chunk, and we say, has it been edited? We check if it's real first. Do I already have that? I probably do. Nope, not yet. And then if it's been edited, so if it's not 0 on the chunk edited, we return the name. The music was bad. So the new brushes need to change the deltas now, not just the noise, like bass data. And these should both be the same, but I guess just flipped. One makes the terrain go up, one go down. This was flat and right. That might be this here. That's it. That's one mistake I made earlier, I think. The bigger your project gets, the more things you want to just make sure they're still working when you bring some changes in. Otherwise, maybe a month down the line, something's broke and you don't know when it broke. Everything affects everything else. So first we just want to see if terrain's still drawing. So that still works. By the way, lower is the same tool as raise, but it just flips the sign. And then, so there wasn't higher and lower, there was just raise, and they use the same function, and flatten was the other one. And that must just take an average, which is why you get the ugly pattern there. It's not smooth enough. Although if you change the size, maybe then it is much bigger. But if I save, this and reload, it's not going to work. The tool works. If I save that and reload, it's not going to work yet because we need to do the serialization. There's just different ways to go about how to save the terrain. I think we're going to save the procedural information and then another vector array with the edits on top. And then when we load it, we load them two separately. Create terrain topology. Generate procedural base into heights. got terrain, what are we doing? I don't know if that's a different version, so you can have more than one save. See, that would have taken a day and a half just to save the terrain. Now it might not work yet, I need to debug it, but and that's just not something that I'd be passionate about. Debugging terrain. I want to build the game, not necessarily the terrain. Let's see if it loads. And then regenerate. No homie. Save. And load. Let me see if I missed anything before I just ask it. I think I've pasted in the wrong. Didn't work. Did I paste the last bit out of the scope? Might have pasted it one line below. I don't want to waste my life on JSON files. I wonder if I pasted the same thing in the save and load. Pasted it in the wrong place. I don't see what's different. I'm not sure it's fixed, I've got to be honest. Save that. Load scene. Is that a joke? It didn't even give the main function. Claude would have got that right. Need my little jacket. It's a bit cold. So this deserves a copy and paste because it just forgot to give us a few variables. I think it'll work this time if it compiles. So let's load a model. Push it into the scene. It's too big, this one. should have a diagonal, you know, that can just throw something diagonally. And then of course just a free, like a free flow. But I don't want to start inventing new types of gizmos because nobody's done that in 20 years, so I'm sure there's not really a need. It's called a gizmo, by the way. I'm not just throwing out a name. Let's turn the sun on. And the world's a bit too light, I think. So I'll just save that. I don't want to make a world and then it not save and have to make it again. Load. Maybe press regenerate. Yeah, so I think it's going to do it. Oh, interesting. Don't think it did. Okay, let's see where it saves a file. And we're going to debug it. It's called terrain. In assets, scenes, stream scene, .terrain edits. That's the one. There's also the other file it saves if needed. So this, everything you see on the screen now, this is how it saves the world. What we're going to do is print out some debug information from the save function. Shout out to the new subscriber. That's a lesson for me because nobody spoke in chat, but then I had people subscribe and hit like. Where was your homies? You better say hi. If root.contains. Just make sure it's got everything. Yeah. Okay, I love that. So now we're going to have some debugging information. Let's go again. guess we can just hit load straight away. Pause. Did that not load? Let's run in debug mode. Actually, I guess it's just, I know what's happening. This is the error. So it's going to go to here, but it's just false basically. So it's not running the code. So it's probably the save is the issue. Although it said it had the data in the save. This is where I need a console within the window. And you could code one that could, I think if you had a CLI that could chat directly to ChatGPT, so the errors could just go straight direct. But maybe that's a mission for another day. Okay, let's see if it comes up on the debugger. Here. I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, it's got there. Let's see if it does contain. Yes. And then we can just stop here. Okay, what data did it print out? So it found the files. I'm going to take this to Claude and I think it's going to fix it in one. I think the save serialization is wrong. Load works and finds the file. The terrain rebuilds but not the delta offset. I offset, so anything I sculpt manually beyond the terrain noise isn't loaded or saved perhaps. All other things aside from terrain load perfectly, I think. This will work. Claude seems to be overconfident, but it just gets things right when it's large context. ChatGPT suggested it. I got fed up and went straight to Claude. Sweet, so they both worked it out. It's interesting how they're debugging their own code. It might take 2 hours to get this in the engine, but then you've got like a full-on robust save function. Which is just going to be really useful. Okay, let's edit it first. Also, make it a bit smaller. Just change that size. I need to fix my lights after this because they're just very ugly. Okay, that's saved. Let's try and load it in. Loading. Might have to hit generate again. Yeah, that's not worked. Notice it does load. It's loading the colors and the model in the right location. Okay, good night from me.